Hey guys, so I'm finally getting around to doing something that my alliance has asked me to do for a long time, which is to make a video or a couple of videos going over some sort of fundamentals of fighting in Last War. And so what I have today is what I consider really like the most basic level things you need to know in order to contribute on either a Buster Day or a Warzone Duel or not really in season fights, those are a bit different. But any sort of like on the map PvP battle. And so I'm going to start off with one of the questions that I think gets asked all the time, which is should I have troops on the wall or not? And I think it's really common in the early on sort of part of a server to say no. And I actually think that's wrong. And so I'm going to walk through a couple of different examples of why I think that. And I'll just say it up front. My recommendation, the basic recommendation, is to always have your strongest squad on the wall. And so I think the actual correct answer is a little bit more nuanced than that. And I'm going to go over that in future videos. But if you're looking for a one-word takeaway, it's first squad. And so I want to show a couple of reports here that sort of give examples of things you want to avoid. And so what I'm showing here is actually an attack that I did on someone who had no troops on the wall. And what you notice is that I was able to send my Loki at him, and for Loki, right, which cost me 5 stamina, I killed 406 dual ground troops. And so this is, like, for me, an amazing trade, right? So I've lost 0 troops of my own, obviously. I was able to keep all of my main squads sort of in my base defending me. And the other, like, bonus about killing dual ground units is that they don't go to the hospital. So these are troops of his that are just permanently deleted for the game, and it only cost me 5 stamina to kill 406 dual ground units. And so I can do this 10 times. Ash him, it costs me 50 stamina, and he has lost 4,000 troops permanently. They don't go to the hospital, they're just gone. And so this is just really bad. And so I don't know why people recommend nothing on the wall, but this is like always just permanent troop loss. And so I really don't recommend doing this. And so what I'm going to show here is an example of what I do recommend, which is a battle where I had my main squad on the wall. And so obviously this is one where it went well for me. I tried to pick an even fight where I won, but it wasn't overwhelming. And so you can see that our squads are pretty balanced in power. I'm maybe set up to counter air better by having Morrison in the middle. And this is what's interesting when we look at statistics. So defending in this game has a massive advantage. And so even though this fight was basically even, right? I beat him by what is this? 320 troops. 470 of his troops were instantly killed, and 1,360 went to the hospital. Meanwhile, 0 of my troops were instantly killed, and 1,171 were sent to the hospital. So this is just like amazing value for me, obviously. And this can only happen if you have a squad on the wall, right? So I mean that sounds maybe kind of dumb, but you can only defend if you have an opportunity to defend. And so now I'm sure all the pundits are saying, like, well, obviously, because you won here, it worked out well for you, but what if you lose? And so what I have here is a report where not only did my first squad lose, but I also had my second squad on the wall. And let's look at the data here. So if we go to the stats here, look, even though I got smoked in this battle, I had 0 troops killed in the actual fight, whereas he lost 185. And so, even though he beat me, and obviously my drill grounds were breached, he's only up 200 troops, even though he absolutely obliterated me. Like, this is a 5 mil higher squad. So he crushed me, and despite that, I'm coming out in decent shape, right? I'm only 200 troops behind, which isn't that bad. And that's the first part of the report. If we go to the second one here, I kill another 85, and this drill ground kill doesn't happen again. It's just for the one breach. So I'm only down 115 troops on this attack, where this guy absolutely crushed me. And so I think it's pretty clear that in this particular battle, at least, having troops on the wall was great for me. And so the next criticism, obviously, is going to be, well, Bougie, what about your hospitals overflowing? And so that is something that I'm going to address in the next clip. In the second clip that I show you guys in this video, I'm going to provide an example of good healing in a battle. So I'm just going to let this clip play while I talk over it. And the first thing you're going to see is a hit coming in, and just to go over what I previously let happen, I let it hit me because defending has an advantage, and if we look at the report here, I won pretty handily, and so I was pretty happy about that. If you look here, I got 438 kills, barely anything in my hospital. And so I'm going to go back just a second here and try to pause it on what I just did. And so this is so important for fighting, is small batch healing. And so what I've done here is I have selected 300 troops to be healed because that's around 2 hours, and I know I can get 2 hours worth of healing in like 7 or 8 helps, which I know will come through pretty quickly with my alliance right now, depending on how many people are online. And so doing this constantly during a fight is essential. And so the actual number of troops you heal is going to depend on your alliance help level, sort of your healing speed buffs, all sorts of different things, how many people are online. If you can get, during our Season 1 battles, when we had 50 people online, I could get 30 helps in 5 seconds. So I was healing 1,000 troops kind of instantly. And um, basically you want to get a sense for how long it's taking for all of your troops to heal and sort of get as many as you can. So you notice I was mousing over there trying to get heals and they're not coming fast enough. And I'm taking a lot of hits right now, and so I keep mousing over my heal button ready to collect these troops while I'm trying to see what's happening. Here I'm getting rallied. I collect my troops there, and I'm ready with another batch. And so you want to be doing this as fast as you possibly can. I probably should lower my units healed down to 200 because you saw it took me 10 helps there, and that's just kind of coming in slow. And so this rally's coming in, and this is the second thing that you should do in fighting, is if your hospital is ever going to overflow, that's when you should use your healing speed ups. So your healing speed ups for me are a way of preventing my hospital from overflowing and then losing a ton of troops. So I'm about to tank this rally, and I don't quite know if that's a good idea. I guess we're about to find out. But I am worried about losing, maybe more than 5,000 troops here. And if that happens, I would lose a lot. And so what I do is I very quickly before this attack hits me, you can see the rally is only a couple seconds away. I pop into my heal, I click it to 3000, and I do a finish now with my healing. And then what I do is I reset it to 200. I mentioned earlier I thought it was taking too slow anyways. And I get right back to healing again. And so this is going to sort of just keep me in the fight. And what it's allowing me to do is you're noticing so many hits are bouncing off of me right now. And in all of those, I'm probably losing 0, like I showed you in the last clip. And as long as I can keep my hospital from overflowing, I'm getting so many kills right now with such good value. And so I'm just keeping trucking along here, healing 200 at a time as fast as I can. Try to remember to throw helps out to your teammates doing the same thing. And as long as I stay ahead of things, this is just a great fight for me. And so I'm just gonna let the clip go for a little bit. That guy sped up his squad to join this rally. And this hit is coming in. I'm healing as fast as I possibly can. You see me mousing over, and then I decide to set my defense to, I think I can get good kills off of this. And look, bam, I just got pushed through and my hospital overflowed. So I should have done what I did previously, what I'm doing right now, which is do a mass wipeout of my hospital. And so you're going to see, I'm immediately going to check, and I actually got pretty lucky where I only lost 300 from a hospital overflow. So if I had one more squad on the wall, I would have gotten cooked. And so just sort of like one final thing I want to show in this clip is when is it too much? Like when do you need to sort of take your lumps and get out of here? And this is an example of when. So what I noticed is there's 2 rallies coming at me, So I'm like, I need to get out of here because 2 rallies will instantly overflow my hospital, and I can't heal through that. So I immediately teleport away. And what I just showed you was actually a great example of teleporting away, which is the next thing I want to discuss in this video. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is teleporting. And I probably said this about the last two clips as well, but I mean it for real this time. Teleporting is the most important thing to know how to do in order to be a good fighter. And people don't like this about this game, but I'm gonna give an unfortunate truth. You need to fight unfair in this game. If you're taking fair fights, you are doing yourself a disservice. This game is all about picking on people who are smaller than you, and when people who are bigger than you come to punish you, you need to run away. And I know, it sounds cowardly, but that is the way this game is played. No amount of spirit is going to make it so that a 40 mil missile squad will bounce off of my 25 mil air squad. So if a whale hits you, the only thing you can do is run. And it sounds silly, but knowing how to run is super, super important. And so what I'm going to go over are the teleports, right? Obviously, that's what I'm leading into, and the rules that are about them. And so the first thing to know is when can you teleport? And so the most important rule to know is that if you have a squad out of your base, you are not able to use any in-server teleport. So that's your advanced teleporter, your alliance teleporter, or your random teleporter. So if you notice here, you have troops outside the base unable to teleport. If I try to advance teleport here, you have troops outside the base unable to teleport. And so this is really important during fighting, right? Because if I am attacking someone and someone comes to attack me, I can't teleport. And so this happens all the time in fighting, and it's something you really have to manage. So I never, basically, will fight like I just showed you. I will never send my squad this far away and put myself in a situation where I'm not able to teleport. Because if I'm doing this, in the time that it takes for my squad to come back, I could get hit 5, 6, 7 times, right? And that's horrible. And so I think a really tough lesson to learn for people who are new to fighting is that you can't fight if you're unable to teleport. It's just like absolutely unacceptable. If you do that enough, eventually you will get crushed. So the farthest I ever send my squad away when I'm sort of in a situation where I have to use one of these in-server teleports is like immediately around me. And even then, I like kind of get sketched out. It's not uncommon for me to just sit and only play defense when I only have these 3 teleports. And so I think what I've been alluding to is that there is a way around this, and that is the cross-server teleport. And so you have one of these to attack your versus opponent on Buster Day, also your Warzone Duel opponent, and then if you're in season, you can do this in season all the time. You can advance teleport to other servers. And so what's sort of unique about these teleports is that you can do this while your squad is out. And so you see my squad is out, and just to like show it again, I can't do this. However, if I attack server 1046, even though my squad is obviously still out, I'm allowed to teleport. And so this is super powerful. This is what allows you to fight. So I'm bubbled right now, obviously, but you can imagine I'm sending my squad out to ash someone pretty far away, and now some big bad, there's some guy over here who's, 250 mil, would crush a little 103 mil me. He teleports next to me. I can get away. And even though my squad is out, I'm still able to teleport. I can't use one of these teleports, right? But I can use one of the advanced teleports. And so there's some rules around this as well, though. So you'll notice up in this top left here, there's a cooldown on this. And so there's a 5-minute cooldown for leaving your own server. However, this cooldown doesn't apply to returning to your server. So even though I had a 4-minute cooldown right there, I'm able to teleport back to my own server at any time. And so what this means is that if you're fighting in someone else's server, you can go there and fight pretty risk-free. However, when you come back, now is that period of time where I cannot have my squad outside my base. And so what I do in this period of time is I'll sit here and I'm watching the map to see if anyone teleports in next to me, and if they do, I'll just very quickly teleport. And this allows me to stay safe and no one can hit me when I can't move around. And I just showed you how quickly I was able to teleport, and this sounds really nerdy, and unfortunately it is the truth. I practice my teleports. The idea is that I want to be able to go from basically any window in the game, so chat is the most likely one. And if my screen starts flashing red, I want to be able to teleport in less than the amount of time it takes for a squad to move 3 tiles. And so it sounds really sweaty, and unfortunately it is. But I practice this every day because what's in your inventory oftentimes changes, and these teleports can be in different slots. And so if you have like event items sort of up in the top, your random teleporter might actually move down a row. So before every day, every Buster day, I make sure I know where my random and alliance teleports are, and that I can use them at a moment's notice. Your alliance teleporter you can use the same way you can use a random teleporter. It doesn't move you as far, but it'll allow you to evade any hits that are coming right at you. One final thing that I want to talk about before I end this clip is when I returned before, unfortunately I'm on the cooldown so I can't show you. When I returned before, I pressed the arrow button, and what that did is it gave me clouds. And so a trick that I used in the last clip is if you have bookmarks, you can use the bookmarks to move without the clouds. And again, I know this sounds so nerdy, but this saves you like a second, and a second oftentimes is the difference between getting hit and not getting hit. And so, it's only one hit, it's not a huge difference, but I've trained myself to always use my bookmarks to get around the servers because it's faster. And so I bookmark in and then I just advance teleport. And then if I'm going somewhere else, I bookmark in, advance teleport. And that's a little faster than using this return button where you get the clouds. So yeah, those are my 3 things that I think are really the fundamentals of fighting. And if you can master those things, I think you will be an asset to your alliance on any Buster Day, Warzone Duel Day. Oh, Mikey O's is getting farmed right now. Yeah, I hope these were helpful, and I apologize for the number of times that I said "and so" in this video. If anyone can give me a count, I'm sure it's in the many doubles of digits.